What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another vintage Star Wars market update. And this is a follow-up to the video from a couple of days ago covering loose graded and loose figures that were for sale. And as a reminder, if you go back and watch that video, I'll put it at the end of this video if you want to go back and watch it and you haven't yet. I got a subscriber giveaway going. I've got a Dulux Shaman Ewoks coin, and I've got a number of Ewoks mint on card items that sold here recently to kind of tag along with that. But if you have any interest in getting that coin, I'll ship it anywhere in the world. Just be a subscriber, like that video, and be sure to comment in that video, and you are automatically entered to win. I also want to say thanks to all my Patreon supporters. Anyone interested in helping support the channel, it's patreon.com/actionfiguregrader. We've got a really nice array of items dating back to original 12 backs to some Empire Strikes Back items. I've even got a vehicle or a playset or two, I can't remember. And Return of the Jedi card backs. We've got a Tri-Logos. We got a really, really wide assortment here. And we're going to start with the creme de la creme. This is a 12-back Princess Leia AFA 85. What an awesome item. This was punched, no price sticker. Subgrades were 85, 85, 80. I mean, good Lord. This is one of the better items I've seen for sale on eBay in a while. And the final sales price did not disappoint, to say the least. $6,160 and change, 28 bids. This sold on March 21st. This seller had a number of gorgeous items, and here's another one. This was a 12-back C AFA 85 R2-D2. And that, I mean, this looks like it's case fresh and never even seen the light of day. What an awesome item. And this has, as I've talked about in past videos, this has the older grading style from AFA, where it's just a single number. This is before they went over to subscores for the card, the blister or bubble, and the figure. So it's a lot harder to get these overall 85s like this. And it was just a gorgeous, like a time capsule type of piece. It sold for $3,861, a massive premium versus, you know, an AFA 80, for example. This is probably 3 to maybe even 4 times what an AFA 80 would sell for. And it didn't disappoint. It's just a gorgeous example. And to take matters to even more crazy, this was an AFA 90. We talked about this one in the Flight to Quality video from this past weekend. And it makes you wonder what's going to happen with a lot of these ultra high grade items that command massive price premiums versus AFA 80s. But this one sold for $1,975. Probably the best deal of those three that this seller had. I mean, $3,800 and $6,100. I mean, it's just an awesome example. Here was another one I thought was a pretty decent deal. Pretty good deal. I was watching this one. I was very tempted by it. But then I came to my senses and realized that spending $900 on a toy is probably not needed right now. This was a 1978 20-back AFA 80 Death Squad Commander. I don't know what it is. I just really like the Death Squad Commander on this Star Wars card. It just really pops for me, and that's one that's kind of on my list. But that one sold for $900, free shipping. I thought that was a pretty good price, really. AFA 80, 85, 80 were the subscores, and it just presents really nicely there. So I think that was a very fair deal. I was very tempted by that one, I'm not going to lie. And whoever got that, congratulations. It was a really pretty item. Here's another one I thought was a pretty good price. This was a 21-back Luke Farm Boy. Beautiful crystal clear blister. It's got that 21-back ESB secret Star Wars action figure offer for the Bosk mail away. But it was punched, but it was an AFA 80, and here's the subscores, all straight 80s. Archival case, $1,900. I mean, I know that's a lot of money. I'm not trying to say that's not a lot of money, but that's a pretty good price. That's a price I'd be willing to pay if I was willing to buy something that expensive. That's a pretty darn good price, in my opinion, for a 21-back Luke Farm Boy. Here was a Kenner Canada ESB. I've got a few more items from this seller. I don't know who this RNJ Toys guy is in Canada or girl, or I'm sorry, he's in Washington. For some reason I thought I was in Canada. But this seller has got just, I mean, it's like they have a magic genie lamp that they rub, and then poof, out pops beautiful Canadian card backs. It's just I mean, it seems like every week he's listing more and more and more. But this was a gorgeous Yoda, unpunched Yoda, Kenner Canada version. It did have just enough damage on the on the stem that I decided to not bid on it. I was thinking about it, but I was like, just a little too much damage for me. It was close, though. He's had a number of examples, though, of this Kenner Canada Yoda. I mean, this is probably the third or fourth one he or she has listed, and this is, a nice one. I'm not trying to say it's not nice, because it's probably, the card is probably an 80 at least, and the figure score is, easily an 85, but I think that stem would probably knock it down to an overall 75 plus, is my guess. But it was a nice, really nice example either way, and the price reflected that. I mean, that was a great price, $312 for this item. Given what Kenner Canada Yodas have done, there was one on Facebook that was an AFA 80 in the Deal or No Deal group, and it sold for $1,500. $1,500. I bid $600, and I knew that I wouldn't get it, but I was shocked to see it go for $1,500. That was a big number for an AFA 80. This would probably score at 75 or 75 plus, depending on who graded it, but very nice example. Here's another cool one. This was a qualified 80 Empire Strikes Back Tauntaun. So this, when you get the qualified, I'm going to see if I can show you the sticker. Here you go. So when it's got the Q dash near mint under the 80, that means it's qualified. And what that means is that it has unused contents, and that the factory tape had come off on at least one side. But it has to be unused. It has to be complete. And so that's, it does qualify as, it's kind of like but it's kind of just in between loose graded and mint and sealed box grading, right? The qualified means it's never been used, but it's 100% complete, but it is opened. So that one sold for $800 plus $25 shipping. I think I received an offer for $725 for it. So my guess is it probably really sold for $725. Which I thought was a pretty fair price for this awesome Tauntaun. Really, really nice. I love the box art on that one. Here was a yellowed 75-41 back Princess Leia. 75, 80, 80 were the sub scores. Some fairly moderate yellowing, but it was unpunched. Very clean example. That one sold at auction for $862. Probably a little high, maybe a little high. I don't know. I think I remember documenting a clear blister Princess Leia, and it might have even been a 41 back as well, that sold ungraded for about $820, and it was clear. It was a clear blister, and it was about the same condition. Maybe not quite as nice as this in terms of the sub scores, but it was a clear blister. And to me, if I'm going to spend $800 on a Leia, I'd probably pony up and get a clear blister, because I think if this was a clear blister 80, I'm not sure how much higher it would have gone. Maybe hitting 1,000. Maybe 1,200 at the top end, but I think that if I'm going to spend this kind of money, I'd probably pony up. On an Empire Strikes Back card, I'd probably pony up for a clear blister, but whatever. It's a beautiful item. I'm not trying to disparage it at all. Here was a gorgeous one, 47 back, free 4-lam offer, ungraded Boba Fett. This would terrify me. There's no way I'd spend this kind of money on an ungraded one. It looked legit. I don't know this seller, but it looked every bit as realistic to me. You never know. There's so many good fakes out there nowadays. But it looked really nice, and it sold for $6,200. So clearly the market felt like it was a real one, and it looks good. It looks good. Clear blister, very, very clean. But that's a big number. That's big boy money. That's well beyond action figure grader money. Here is one. Now, there's a funny story on this one. Okay, this is what I was thinking about bidding only for nostalgia regions. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, which is @actionfiguregrader, my brother has been sending me every Sunday. He goes to visit my mother who's sick, and he sends me some photos he finds of me as a kid. And there was one that was me at my birthday party, opening a bunch of 48 back Return of the Jedi figures, and I had, one kid is holding a Tusken Raider, another kid's holding another figure. I'm holding the Snaggletooth on this card back. So this is exactly the figure that I was holding in my hands in the photo. And I was like, I was kind of tempted to buy this just to kind of, match it up with what was in my hands, but because it was the exact same card back and everything. So I was so tempted, but I didn't do it. But this one did sell for $441. Beautiful clear blister. snaggle, red snaggle tooth. It had a little bit of dinging right there on the blister. Probably still an overall 85, or excuse me, 80 overall. Probably 80, maybe an 80 for the blister score. I'm not sure. It's got a pretty sizable ding in that one corner. I'd give it an overall 80 though, pretty easily, maybe 80 plus even. But that was a gorgeous example. I was so tempted to buy that just to kind of recreate the magic of that birthday photo. But you can go check that out on my Instagram if you want to go look it up. Here's another beautiful one. This was an AFA 85 Jawa on the Return of the Jedi card back. I'm assuming a 65 back. It's for some reason for this Jawa. If it's on the 65 back A, it's easier to find in a clear blister. But as soon as you get over to the 77 backs, it's a lot harder to find those. I don't know if they just used a different mix for the plastic for the blister versus the 65, but that Jawa usually doesn't yellow on the 65 back. Anyway, that one sold for $1,000, $999, 30 bids. Crazy, crazy money for a clear blister. That just shows you the mass. And this is what we talked about in my, flight to quality video this past weekend, is just the massive premiums that collectors are willing to pay for those clear blister Return of the Jedis, and that one was certainly no exception. Here was another nice one. I don't know what it would score at if it was to be graded, but it was a beautiful unpunched tri-logo Palatoy Wicket. Very tempting. Very, very tempting. It has a little bit of edge wear to it, but I'd say it's a 75 plus, maybe even an 80. Gorgeous, gorgeous example. Unpunched. I think that was a pretty good price. $175 for that. What would hold it back most likely is the blister. But, let's say it's an 80, 75, 85. I mean, that's a pretty good, you got pretty good odds there. I give it 50-50. This one would hit an 80 at the grading company. But $175 for that. That was a good deal. That's a really good price for that tri-logo. Here's another boxed vehicle. This was a sealed one. This was an 80 plus tri-logo one-man sail skiff. So beautiful box art there with Boba Fett on there. That one sold for $599. That one sat for a little while. That one did sit for a little while, but it was free shipping, $600. I think that's a pretty fair price. I'd pay that. I'd pay that for an 80 plus. That's a nice one. And I had it on my watch. I had that on my watch list for almost a year. It just sat and sat. But finally someone pulled the trigger on it, and I think they got a good price on that one. Here was a last 17 figure. This was a 77 back Paplu. It looks like the Canadian. Let's see the back of it. 77 back La Guerre des Étoiles Canadian card back for Paplu. These are made down in the Lily Letty factory in Mexico. You can see that factory punch right here. That was almost always applied by the factory. This little punch that goes through behind the figure inside the blister. I have seen examples of the Lily Letty without that punch. It just got missed, I guess, and during the factory assembly process. But I'd say a good solid 95% of them or more have that little punch there. But anyway, it's not a factory defect. It's not a defect. It's something that is on almost every single Lily Letty figure. But this was a nice one though. It's a nice Paplu. It sold for $147. It's probably like a 75 plus is my guess. Yeah, probably 75 plus with some light creasing. Here was a beautiful Power of the Force Luke Skywalker X-Wing palette. I had the opportunity to buy one of these probably about a year and a half ago, and it was an AFA 80, exact same grade, and it was listed for $600 in one of the Facebook groups, and I almost pulled the trigger on it. I almost did, and I wish I had now, because you can see what the price has done since then. Just like everything else that's high grade and fairly desirable. This was a beautiful unpunched yellowed blister, obviously, which is common for the Power of the Force 2 line, or excuse me, Power of the Force line, not the Power of the Force 2 line. But this is an AFA 80. Looks like straight 80s. Let's see what we got. Nope, we got a 90 for the sub score for the blister. That's a very high sub score. But anyways, $1,275. $1,275 for that Luke Power of the Force X-Wing. Beautiful example. And same seller had this one at auction, $779. Took this AFA 85, 85, 90. It wasn't AFA, it was CAS. CAS 85. But what a beautiful example. Unpunched, no price sticker. That is a gorgeous example. I would have paid that all day long. $780 took that one home. What a beauty. Really, really nice last 17. Here was another last 17. This one was an AFA 80. Maybe not quite so pretty for the Imperial Dignitary. It's got that beautiful horse pea color to that blister there. I hate it when it gets that dark. It just really detracts from the figure, unfortunately. But again, it scored an 80. Sub scores were 75, 85, 85, and it sold for $311. I think that's a fair price. I mean, give me a break. The Imperial Dignitaries can sell now. I mean, they're approaching $200 or more, even ungraded loose. So to get it mint on card, as ugly as that is to me, I personally wouldn't want this, but you know, it is mint on card and it's a high grade one. So that's a pretty good price for given the distraction of that dark blister. On the other end of the spectrum, here's this Lily Letty Factory Low Gray. Beautiful clear blister. I literally like this card art. That card art is just really cool. Love that one. Same seller that I was talking about earlier over in Washington. I mean, this is probably the third or fourth one he sold, but this is a beautiful unpunched example. Really nice. That one sold for $256. I think that was a fantastic deal. I would have paid that all day long for that Ewok. Here was another Canadian Kia Mall that he had. This one had just very, very faint yellowing to the blister. Unpunched, though. Gorgeous example. That one sold for $300. That's a little bit higher than the last one he sold. Probably about a month ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it sold for about $190, if memory serves me. But that one was maybe a little better shape. Maybe I'm getting it backwards. Maybe this is the one that was in better shape, and that's why the price was a little bit higher. But either way, pretty nice data points there. It's 200 to 300 depending on condition for a nice condition ungraded Kia Mall mint on card Canadian. And same seller also had this one, a Canadian Ewoks. This was the Dulux Scout. And again, I've got that exact coin in a giveaway. At the end of this video, you'll see it pop up. So make sure to go check that out. But I think that's the same coin. Let's see what's this. This is the Dulux. I can't remember. This is Dulux Scout. Okay, yeah. So this is the same coin. This is the same coin. That one sold for $231 on 33 bids. Pretty good price. And then finally, this is like the third or fourth one that he's had of this, but this is a beautiful unpunched Canadian Droids R2-D2 pop-up. Very, very dark yellow to the blister. He's had a couple that were more faint, but it did not stop the bidding on this one. $1,192 took that one home. Gorgeous example, though, and really pops on that card back. So that is all I had for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel and you like keeping track of what is going on in the wacky world of vintage Star Wars toys and how the prices for these collectibles are accelerating at an unprecedented rate, I would encourage you to subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.